Hello everybody, and welcome back to Moonlight Castle. Ryan has just dropped us off. We're gonna be heading to class, probably hang out with our friends, have a good time, maybe talk to a Tigor. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Ryan got my attention before I could leave him. Oh, come on, I was only joking. I turned around to look at him, who was still inside the car. I'm sorry. I heaved yet another sigh and then turned around again to head for the building. The bear yelling as I walked away. Have a good day! See you at lunchtime! Oh my god, this bear. I really couldn't stay mad at him long. Sure, see you later, you dork. Without turning around, I yelled back at him, and then with a smile, I stepped into the building. I got to the second floor, and before entering the classroom, I gave my phone another quick glance. It seemed Patrice still hadn't responded to my text. Left him on red, hopefully. I really hope that the tiger wasn't messed up by the trip we had yesterday. After all, we did go out of his way to accommodate my desire to explore the castle. I never forgive myself if our little journey turned out to be something that traumatized him. What was I thinking? It wasn't like wallowing in self-pity was going to do anything to improve the situation. I pinched myself on the cheek to snap myself back to reality as I entered the classroom. Alright, we do have a class with Liam. Liam attended the same class I did in this morning, and I didn't hesitate to approach him. As soon as he saw me, his expression ranged from happy to confused and, to an extent, even uncomfortable. Joel, what are you... I took his hand, dragged him to the corner, and then whispered words into his ear. I found a knife, and it looked exactly like yours. The lynx moved back a little. The information I revealed must have been staggering to him. Where did you find it? In the castle, obviously. And where is it now? Clearly, he wanted to see the knife. I hinted at my bag, and the lynx just quietly rummaged through it. Upon seeing the item, he froze for a second. Don't pull it out! Of course not! The lynx had then opened his bag to look at his knife. Seeing his gaze alternate between the two bags, I concluded that the two knives indeed looked the same. Why do you have the same knife? Where did you get it from? Don't tell me that you actually had been to the castle before. Liam shook his head at my last question. However, that didn't really answer the rest of my questions. Would you mind telling me about the knife a little more? In return, I'll answer your questions. It looked like he was serious, and I'd never seen him being serious. Fine, I'll tell you. The classroom's door was opened, and a professor came into the room, and the timing couldn't have been any worse. Is this class important to you? Yes. That means I'll have to pay attention. Sorry. I'm free after this class, though. Can we discuss then? Sure. Temporarily, we had to part ways, and I preferred sitting in front to pay attention. However, the lynx found it difficult to focus his mind unless he was in the back row. It didn't look like he cared after the class anyway, though. Regardless, this was one of my divisions, mandatory subjects, so I really should start focusing my mind now. And it looked like I was failing to do so I couldn't really concentrate. I guess it was because I couldn't stop thinking about what we just talked about. Good thing I'd already had a good grasp on the subject. Otherwise, I'd have been much more difficult to learn anything about the current topic, with such a fuzzy mind that I have right now. An hour went by, and the lynx came back to me once the majority of the classrooms had left. I messed that up. Classmates had left the room. There we go. Just combine some word there's real quick, you know. And let me take another look at that knife. I really want to see it up close. He tried to reach into my bag, but I snatched it before his hands could land on it. Are you stupid? We can't be flashing a weapon inside the school. Let's get some privacy first. He gave a groan of dismay and used his phone to check the time. The canteen should be pretty empty at the moment. If we hurry, we should be able to have the place to ourselves for the time being. The location he chose felt a bit too open for my liking. However, I compelled for the sake of efficiency. I suppose we'll need to go there eventually anyway. He led the way, and I sighed as I followed him. It wasn't like I had a choice, since I, too, wanted to learn more about his side of the story.
Great. Looks like it's just the two of us here.
Liam took the knives out of the bag to lay them side by side on the table. The two items looked identical to me. There was no doubt that they came from similar origins, if not the same origin.
I can't believe it. That what they said is actually true. Alright, now could you tell me about the place you found it in? It's time for a story, please.
This is a serious matter. Stop messing around. I found it last night with Patrice, while we were investigating a church outside the castle.
Look, wait. I looked everywhere for a clue, and it was just sitting there outside, of all places.
I found other things, too, but they were...
They were what?
A little, I stopped in my tracks and thought back to what I'd seen and how I'd felt then. Moving shadows and the feelings that they were telling me stuff. How would I ever explain either of those to anyone?
Speak faster.
You're going to think I'm crazy, but it felt like they were trying to give me the knife as a gift.
Who? Give me a name. Stop being vague.
I suppose there wasn't much I could do. Much I could lose. Taking a deep breath, I told the Lynx everything that I'd encountered, and surprisingly, he didn't interrupt me at all. He was listening attentively to everything I said, and there wasn't a single laugh at any point, at any given part of my ridiculous tale.
Goddamn. This is even worse than I thought.
You believe what I'm saying?
Of course I do. I'm probably literally the only person here who wouldn't think that you've lost your mind. Anyway, I needed to confirm that you really saw what you're telling me.
I'm pretty sure I did, I think.
Try not to recall it as a memory, but as an experience. Use your feelings. Don't bother with the imaginary. How did you feel then, when you saw it?
Following the instructions that he gave me, I suddenly felt an unnatural surge of emotions that I couldn't really put into words. Thought that it was weird. Seeing such things, I should supposedly be scared, but I should supposedly be scared, that's what it says. However, I wasn't. I was worried, calm, and oddly intrigued. There was also a bad feeling that something was yelling at me and telling me to run, yet I just couldn't. It was as if I was drawn to it. Something was pulling me even though no one was touching me. I was so sure, and I still am, that when I just walked, something was taking me there, but why? How am I so sure about this? The Lynx started to giggle, and I was snapped away from my train of thought. Just now, I felt embarrassed and glared at him. You asked.
I did. No worries, I'm not laughing at you. It just reminded me of my first time. She also laughed then, and now I can see why.
Your first time? The students began to enter the canteen, and Liam swiftly concealed all of our potentially suspicious items we had in the open by returning them into where they belonged.
It's a long story, and is not exactly related to what we're talking about at the moment. Maybe I'll tell you some other time.
Well, now it's time you tell me about your knife.
I found it outside my house. It came with a mask and a note telling me to learn more about the two items. Quite uninteresting compared to your version. I hate to repeat things, so I'll go into detail when everyone else is here.
Oh, shut up! I know you love talking about this stuff.
Not with the people who think I'm crazy, though, on the other than that, you're right.
So, what else do you know? The knife I found, somehow, fixed itself overnight. Do you happen to know anything about this occurrence?
Honestly, no. This is the first time that I've heard something like that happen. I'm sure that the item is cursed. However, I don't really know what it can do.
Cursed? It's dangerous. Now I regretted taking the knife with me even more. Why did he say it? Why did he have to say that? And how could he be so nonchalant about saying it?
I actually didn't want to bring it up, this part I'm about to say, but if anyone is going to hear it, I'd rather have it be you. Although I'm still unsure what cursed objects can do, I know that not all of them are necessarily bad. One could observe their behaviors, see what they do, and then return any of the items to where they were found, if the results were bad. Somehow, it felt a little better hearing what he just said. However, I don't think the goal he had in mind when he shared the information with me was to calm me down. It's that simple? Once you return the item to where it belongs, you're pretty much free from the curse.
But that means I'll have to go back there then. I freaked out a little, and the Lynx just shrugged. He probably wanted to drag me to the castle with him again anyway.
Who knows? Maybe you won't have to return it. The cleaver I have hasn't done anything yet, and since yours is basically the same item, you can relax.
You made it sound so easy just to relax. There was no way that anyone would stay calm in such a situation. We got there, boys. All the details had just still escalated so quickly that I was simply completely overwhelmed. I sulked on my seat as I thought about the mess that I'd put myself in, all just because I was curious.
I need to go for a moment. We can talk somewhere later, if that'll help you.
Okay, thanks. I waved at him with a little energy I had left, as I was totally spent after all that talk. Actually, now that I thought about it, there was one more thing that was still bothering me, and seeing him leave made me realize I had to act now. Wait! I yelled to get his attention from a distance. The Lynx stopped moving, and seemingly without turning it around to face me, he was waiting to hear what I had on my mind. How did you learn all of this? And why am I so inclined to believe you rather than doubt it?
That really takes me back.
It seemed he was feeling nostalgic. However, I couldn't care less about any of that at the moment. Liam!
You need to be a little patient. I swear that I'll tell you whether or not you're a good candidate.
That sounded even stranger. What does that even mean, Liam? Come back! He ignored my voice and slipped himself into the crowd of students that was entering the canteen, disappearing without a trace. I was going to chase him, but my phone was blasting its tune and stopping me from doing so. I forgot that I'd turned off silent mode so that I'd notice immediately when Patrice responded to my text. However, it seemed that he decided to just make a call. Hello? It was only natural that I answered the call. After all, I wouldn't want to appear as if I was ignoring him. Hey, sorry for the sudden call. I tried texting, but you weren't responding. Quickly, I glanced at my notifications, and he was right. How did I not notice? Are you busy right now? Something happened, and I wanted to let you know. At first, I was worried, and now it sounded like he couldn't retain the control of his emotions. His excitement, sorry. No, not anymore. I'm in the canteen right now. Great. I'm nearby. I'll see you soon. He ended the call, and I immediately exhaled. There was just too much stuff going on right now. However, all the stress I was having was swept under the rug as I saw the tiger among a crowd of people. He looked eager, and he was smiling. I couldn't help finding the sight. That's not slight. The sight. Really cute. Well, he's a Tigor. He's automatically cute. And I was quite giddy when he approached me. Joe! Hey, how are, He stood up to greet me, and he just tackled me from the side, lifted me up, and spun both of us around as he gave me an embrace. All the while, he was laughing and giggling. Seeing how happy he was, I couldn't bring myself to stop him, and the feeling was quite contagious. "You're the best, Joe. Thank you." I chuckled all the way as he was holding me was making me feel ticklish. "What's all this for?" Eventually, the tiger dropped me on my seat again. "For yesterday. What else could it be?" Clearly, our memories didn't match, as I was sure that he was really scarred back then. Were we really thinking about the same day? Huh? And then the tiger was tapping himself on the head, as if pondering whether he forgot something. "Oh, right. I haven't told you about my therapist. That's probably why you're confused. Sorry, I was excited, and I even forgot that you didn't like to be touched out of the blue." "Well, I guess I've messed up." Ryan wasn't lying when he said that this tiger loved to exaggerate. I shrugged my shoulders and invited the feline to sit with me. "Come, sit." He sat on a chair across from me, and I closed the gap between us. "Let's start with your phone." "Phone? Oh, your messages. Yeah. Yesterday, after we parted ways, I was still freaking out about what you'd said that you'd seen, so I decided to meet up with my therapist, to have them help me organize my thoughts and feelings." Oh shit, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have said. "Dude, no worries. It was my own choice to see them. Don't you blame yourself." If you weren't mad about that, then why didn't you text me back? "Oh, Joe, you're reading it all wrong. Trust me, everything's fine. My therapist advised me to avoid distraction during our sessions. Also, I wanted to make sure that I'd remembered everything that happened each time, without getting my feelings in the way. It's really important to me that I don't forget the details so that I can observe my progress." I see. Well, hopefully I didn't get in your way. "Aw, you're good. It's just the social media could be really tempting, so I turned off my phone." Okay, that's good. "Now, let's talk about the good stuff. I've received amazing news, and it's all thanks to you." Huh? But I don't remember doing anything. "Of course you did. Yesterday, I was paying so much my attention to our conversation, and for a moment there, my fear actually did fly over my head, right past me." Oh, is that good? Apparently it is. They told me that it was extremely positive side. Even though you did freak out afterwards. I said that too, but they said that the fact that I managed to stop it from taking control of myself, even for a second, was amazing. Well, I'm happy for you. Oh, you have no idea how happy I am, especially to have you here. He took my hand and held them, and just like that, my face was reddening. Why did I have to be such a hopeless romantic? It wasn't like he was doing anything special. It was merely a simple gesture, yet it felt so magical to me. The charming eyes, the delicate touch, the thumbs rubbing against my skin. Please, could he stop looking at me? I've been struggling with my fear for so long. At one point, I even believed that I'd have to deal with it for the rest of my life. Constantly, I got depressed. I felt extremely exhausted and never managed to build up my appetite. I didn't want to give up, but I couldn't help feeling I was trapped. Today, though, everything has changed. I can feel like I can finally see the light at the end of that tunnel, and it's all thanks to you. I know we've just met each other for 2 days, but please, would you help me get through this? This was quite a sweet moment. Seeing that he trusted me enough to open up and ask me for help made me blush. But, and he was such a nice guy, too. I was kind of afraid to let him down. How can I help? You really are going to help me. Oh, Joe, I can't thank you enough. The only thing I've ever wanted is to live a normal life like everyone else does. That kind of struck a chord within myself. However, I tried not to think about it too much. The moment now was about the tiger, and I should focus on him. That, or so, was what I wanted to believe, yet my body refused. Instinctively, I took my hand away from him, a little harshly too. What was I thinking? What was I doing? Was I about to be selfish? He needed me. I should help him. I shouldn't ruin this. I should stop or I'd... Do you, maybe also consider your life not normal? My eyes perked up so that I could look at his, and I met with a sympathetic face of someone who understands how I felt. Ryan had always reminded me not to go hard on you, and at first, I didn't really get why, but now, I think I'm starting to understand. You have your own struggles too, and they matter as much as everyone else's. The pain I have doesn't make yours any less important. My whole life, I'd had my feelings invalidated by Mom and my stepfather. They'd tell me that the feelings I had couldn't be as important as the ones that they had. It was their problems that took priority over anything I had to say or complain. Always, I needed to push mine away. And Ryan hated it when I pushed away my problems, so he'd always harass me for it. Right, you're correct about that. If you ever have anything to say, I'll listen to you, whatever it is, and whatever you want. Thanks. It became silent, and we just sat there, staring at each other. I was really grateful to him for all he'd said to me. However, I don't think I was capable of telling him that just how much I appreciated that. He had made me so happy, so much that I couldn't keep looking at his eyes without getting flustered. Not anymore. Oh, it's Ryan. Okay. I think I'll end the part here, everyone, so I do hope that you all have enjoyed, and I'll see you all around.